and I want to just get absolutely pounded. 20.
Pause. What?
You died.
So this is Nik Nocturnal's Metal in 2023. These are his predictions for the year of 2023. So we're gonna watch this, and you know,
what does that mean? Like album predictions?
I don't know. Predictions of just
out?
like predicting what metal music will be like in
Controversies?
2023. So that's what. That's all I got. So just interject whenever you want. I'll pause it and we'll talk about it. So here we go. Nik Nocturnal Metal in 2023.
2023 metal predictions. Noises, inaudible breakdowns, and more canceled vocalists. Let's go. We're talking facts here. And speaking of facts, did you know that only 55% of you are subscribed?
These
Hit the
edits,
subscribe
holy
button.
shit.
Hit the notification bell. Come hang out. We talk the metal,
Upside
the
down,
noises, the good
stretch
time.
face.
So to start out, we all know what
Fisheye
happened
lids.
this year. All right, Lorna Shore exists, and it happened. They did the thing, the noises, all of that, and they dropped their album. And
Wasn't that last year? Was that last year? I thought To the Hellfire was 2021.
Till the Hellfire was last year, but the album was this year.
The album was this year, yeah.
really got the scene talking because this is a heavy album, right? But the thing about this album is it kind of put the stamp on melodic deathcore, where of course there's still like traditional deathcore and a lot of slam moments on that album, but there's a lot of just melody infusion.
It's symphonic deathcore
And symphony, which again bands have been
too.
Yeah, I mean they have the whole what was that? They have the little trilogy thing. Trilogy
Remains.
at the end, yeah. Part 1, 2, 3.
experimenting with for quite.
So Shadow of Intent, they put out an album this year, right? Wasn't that one of the ones that came
No,
out
it was
this
last year. They
okay.
put like a deluxe version out this year or something.
A while, but I don't think they've really took it to the point of Lorna taking it, especially with like the Pain Remains one, where I think going into this next year, 2023, I really think is going to be the year of like melodic deathcore, almost similar to how in the 2000s and some of the best music ever bands like Killswitch, Bullet for My Valentine, Atreyu, I guess.
Jordan's eye rolling right now.
Oh, Under Oath. Oh, that was a good one.
Under Oath,
Atreyu could
August
go
Burns
there.
Red. We're taking metalcore from Converge and all that stuff like hardcore and applying a lot of melody to it and basically making melodic metalcore. I think we're finally going to see the age of melodic death.
That's just second wave metalcore, but yeah, everyone does. A lot of people call it melodic metalcore.
Metalcore, yeah.
Deathcore, where a lot of bands are going to be making these crazy, heavy, fast-paced with disgusting low-tuned breakdown songs, but also that have like this crazy amount of emotion embedded into it that isn't just anger. Something that's been creeping up, no doubt, is Thal, which is weird because Valyarta, Cal, and Bustercore, like, I mean, they've been releasing stuff for so long. And a lot of bands, especially in like the modern metal.
Is that how it's pronounced? Is it Valyarta?
No.
I just call it Vilcharta. I don't know.
Because it's Wild Heart, and it's very like, the English comes from that, so it's like pronounced,
Of course,
more like that.
Scene are starting to use Thal instead of like Gent.
I'd say there's a little bit of I've noticed some like hint of
A little bit
Thal.
of
Micro Thal, yeah, that's what I like to call it.
Thal is really replacing Gent, which is involving a lot of elongating bends like and then also like these interesting like tremolo note like slides like stuff like that, but also a lot of atmosphere, again a lot of emotion. I think breakdowns are not going to be as much like slammy dun dun dun. There's still going to be slammy breakdowns, but I think Thal is going to be the main go-to for breakdowns, as some bands have been transitioning. I mean, like alt, invent, animate, and I think Thal is going to be a big thing this next year.
What do you think? You think Thal? I would like to see that. I love Thal.
Yeah, definitely, because we said there's a lot of like micro Thal and like little Thal moments here. So I feel like this generation is kind of like the generation of Viljarta, like Dagger, Omni Slash fans and stuff like that. So I feel like, that might be more of an influence, because that's not really like a huge thing, but it's definitely crept up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Especially because like Carcosa and like Andrew Baina and the vocalist of that band, they always make those videos, and like they've made like Thal videos and stuff. So like that's definitely been a thing that people are catching on to now, I feel like. So
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
And he mentioned that alt band. I know they put out like an EP or an album this year, but I don't think either of us caught that one. I remember hearing about it, but I haven't. I think Metal Burb was talking about it once, and but I don't think we caught that one. So maybe I don't know. I don't know if it will catch on that big, but I wouldn't mind it. I would like to see that. That'd be cool. Because I like
Maybe
the
just the
proggy stuff.
influence.
I like Gent and Thal and all that. So I'm rooting for it. I don't know if it'll happen, but it would be cool for sure.
Alongside that, I also think post-hardcore music in general has had the weirdest like resurgence ever. Like post-hardcore music, you know, bands with the and the R&B, you know, kind of singing, basically Johnny Craig, but hopefully you don't get canceled, as well as like instrumentals that are very, you know, like they might have breakdowns, but they're very melodic. Some of them have Linkin Park-core kind of vibes to them. And I mean, you see it with Bad Omens exploding, you see it with Dayseeker, and you see it just from a lot of these kind of newer bands, even Thousand Below, basically a lot of bands even on the Bad Omens tours.
Dayseeker wasn't even post-hardcore though. That was like synthwave.
Yeah, that album specifically, but
I feel like he's getting post-hardcore kind of mixed up with like modern post-hardcore, and not like the emo post-hardcore, like the Used and stuff like that.
yeah, because like
think he's-
where is post-hardcore right now? Because really, if you think about it, there's no one like that sounds. Because
See, that's what I was saying about Static Dress, because there's not a lot of bands that sound like that now. I mean, like, yeah, it's a very derivative of that, but it's also very modern. And I don't see a lot of that like now.
Yeah. So yeah, because I wouldn't. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't call Bad Omens and them. I would say they're pretty much just metalcore. They're just the different weird branch of metalcore. I wouldn't call it
Modern
post-hardcore.
metalcore.
Because yes, older post-hardcore, like Beloved, didn't sound anything like metalcore, and these bands don't sound really anything like metalcore, but they don't sound anything like post-hardcore either. They're very,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
Say,
a weird spot.
Fifth wave post-hardcore. Like that.
I can't. You called it. What'd you call it? Midcore or something like that, or
Middlecore.
Middlecore.
Just gaining a lot of popularity and killing it, and people wanting that emotional, huge chorus. Well,
I mean, I guess if you count, if you really deep dive into the meaning of post-hardcore, a lot of people say that post-hardcore is like very emotional focused, and so I guess if you call it that, it kind of makes sense calling them post-hardcore, because like I said, I've called them like emotional metalcore, basically, is what. So it's kind of, I see what he's saying.
It wasn't always emotionally focused. But yeah, I see it.
Still having, you know, fun, lower tuned-ish, chunky riffs tied in between, maybe screaming here and there. And to tie with all that, I also think shoegaze, I mean, is going to be a big thing, which again, shoegaze, it's just very ambient.
So Static Dress, post-hardcore, and shoegaze.
A lot of people call it kind of Deftones shoegaze. Chino's voice is really shoegaze. I wouldn't say the instrumentals are necessarily shoegaze, but Loathe is a good example of a band that really mixes like shoegaze mixed with like Meshuggah. And I think a lot more bands are going to start to meld shoegaze into just weird, fun stuff.
Shoegaze Shoethal. We get some Shoethal?
Honestly, Thal's already kind of shoegazy. It's got like that
very
atmospheric like delay.
Low tempo, like just like moody.
I mean, there was an album that didn't come out a couple years ago that I did hear, or 2 years ago, was the last year. Lotus Eater got a little canceled. Where even a lot of stuff on there, it was like pisscore, and then it had the
fucking. what's his nuts?
Pissed
Richard
core.
Janvrin. That's like his. I think he coined it. He coined that term.
That's not gonna be a thing.
Everyone calls like a mirror, that kind of stuff, pissed core, alpha wolf, that type of shit. It's just
Brocore.
newer brocore, new metalcore. It's new metalcore. It's like fucking
New metalcore, yeah.
yeah.
Sworn in
Shoegaze
core.
atmospheric moments. So I think emotion's always been important in music, but I think in the metal scene particular this year is going to just be one of the most important things that people are looking for, that they want to connect with heavy music. Now when it comes to bands specifically, I mean, I'm gonna be straight up. I think Brand of Sacrifice is gonna kind of just win this year. Like, they've been doing such great stuff for so long, but they haven't had like necessarily their Lorna Shore moment just yet. But seeing what they're doing, seeing the numbers they're getting, they're at like 600,000 monthly as a really, really heavy deathcore band.
Speaking of post-hardcore,
Yeah.
after image,
After
clean
Image.
singing, please.
I think that is the way Random Sacrifice will do that. I think that is the only way they will do it. Well, I'm not going to say only way, because they do have the talent. But I think, I've said it a million times, if Brand of Sacrifice comes in here with some after image cleans, that could absolutely just like redefine.
Yeah, kind of like
deathcore.
Within Destruction, like having like that kind of deathcore, but like having still like the melodic kind of like progressive elements to it. That's definitely gonna. I guess what he was saying like earlier about like melodic deathcore, that's kind of the same thing,
Yeah.
a similar thing. So,
Yeah. And it's funny because like I kept saying that, and in their recent song, I don't know if you listened to the recent Brand of Sacrifice song, he does some cleans, though it's like Chester cleans. It's like the very Fry
gravelly.
vocally cleans, not anywhere near the after image cleans. I think maybe it could be them dipping their toes maybe a little bit. Maybe they might lead up to that. I don't know. But I really hope they do. Like, I think if they come in with some, because dude's got some good fucking vocals. If he just pops in with those fucking, I think they could really do something with it, with those the crazy heaviness of Brand of Sacrifice. I think if they do that, they could absolutely do something big. But
Stain the Canvas kind of
we'll
did that a little bit. They didn't quite go as brutal, but yeah, they kind of had that kind of feeling.
Yeah, if you go back and listen to that album, like, man, he's got those deathcore screams in there. It's really cool.
That's really diverse, that gets low, that gets disgusting. They've done collabs with like We Came as Romans. They're on TikTok doing really cool content, actually, as well as they have their whole merch line that is, I'm assuming, doing very well because they're collaborating with all these artists as well. And that last single they released was just a banger. They started to incorporate a little bit of cleans in there as well, but they did it very tastefully.
Yeah, I just said that.
I think they're going to have a huge moment this year. And other than that, I mean, Loathe, like, where y'all been? I just saw them on tour. Amazing show. Like, they
So did Jordan.
have a vibe. Again, killing it both with that shoegaze, the emotion, but the heaviness. Very modern, very artsy, but very, very.
Imagine if Loathe's album came out like this year. I feel like if that album came out this year, it would have like been a lot bigger, like even bigger than it was. Like, it was kind of ahead of its time, to be honest.
That, and it was kind of like around the pandemic, so
Which
if they would have like released it this year and toured on it this year, which I definitely would have.
We actually have to do a review of that sometime January. We're gonna catch up on the it was Jeremy Castillo's pick for one of the raffle. He picked that album, so we'll be doing a review on that here soon.
Very heavy moments. If they come out of this year with something new, like, they're gonna be killing it. I mean, I went back and I saw some of their Spotify numbers, which, again, I always thought of Loathe as like a popular band in more of the underground modern metal scene. I didn't realize their last album, every song on there has over like 1 million streams, and some of those songs have 10 million streams. They're going and having a really cool moment without even dropping much, other than that one song at the beginning of the year, which was interesting to say the least. Besides them, of course, Spirit Box has just been already doing their thing. I mean, their EP this year was pretty cool, but I think next year, if they do drop anything, which, again, I don't actually know if they will, but
I would imagine they would. I don't think they would not do anything.
It'll probably be towards the end of the year again, but yeah.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, I would hope for a full album though.
If they do drop anything, I think they're just going to kind of continue the train. And I can't mention exciting things without talking about Darko US. Like, two-man band.
So Darko just put out a fucking album like today, I think, and I'm not listening to it yet. We'll review it in January. But come on, why would you put out an album? Like, just wait. Like,
You just put one out, like literally not even 2 months ago.
like I think I looked at it. It's only like 20 minutes, but it's still like 8 songs. So it's like, we'll just have to see.
God, dude.
Plus producer, and they are just killing it. They released their album this year, one of my favorites of the year, no doubt.
Which, you notice we didn't actually put that on anywhere in our honorable mentions or anything. It was good. It had some good stuff, but I think they just don't have their footing yet. I think they're just too all over the place, which yes, I get is kind of their thing. It's their shtick, is being wild. But like the soft parts, those soft songs that they came out with, beautiful, great, like great stuff, but just didn't make sense in the album. It just was like way too much. Like there was just so much going on. So we'll have to see where Darko goes. Very talented for sure, absolutely. Just I don't know.
Definitely for 2 people.
Yeah.
Which was, again, a mix of a lot of things I'm talking about, actually. It had those pissed moments, those Danza chaotic moments, and then it had these vibey shoegaze moments. It had some, like, little minor Thal moments and all that, and it was emotional, but super disgustingly heavy and had all the noises. And it was a lot of production, very production-based, which I feel like is also going to be a trend kind of going forward, where these really, really heavy bands are not going to be shy of using...
Bands have been doing this, but not as much in the extreme metal scene. Okay, I just had to see that little part on there.
Like R&B samples or like very vibey indie samples over breakdowns. It's going to be even harder to distinguish one song from deathcore or metalcore or gent or Thal or whatever. I think it's really just going to turn into this big, fun, disgusting field of breakdowns and emotion and big choruses and just fun, crazy riffs. TikTok is part of this as well, which, you got to accept it or not. Bands are getting big just even off TikTok, and bands that are already big are just going bleh, like even bigger. There's a huge alt and metal scene on there, even if some of it's cringe. I mean, so is YouTube, so is everywhere else. Metal can be cringe too. I mean, we went through MySpace and the Warped Tour days. Honestly, TikTok is child's play. Vocalists, oh my God, how good vocalists are getting is ridiculous too. It's like the standard is you have to be able to do like 5 animal zoo noises plus 3 zombie noises you heard in movies plus like 5 demon noises you heard from Doom. Like the vocal standard is ridiculous.
That is true. Hopefully that goes away because it is very irritating. I had a video on TikTok that kind of blew up. I think I'm almost at like 10K views on it. I finally did my Lorna Shore Ruined Deathcore video, and so many comments on there are just people saying stuff like, oh, so you're mad that Lorna Shore just got popular. You're just mad that they're so good that because I mentioned that they were good and talented. They were like, oh, so you just don't like that they're good. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like,
what? That doesn't make sense in any argument.
They made the scene like everyone try to want to sound like that, and so it just made everyone, and I even said in the little title at the bottom, I said it's not really like their fault specifically, but they still did do it. They still ruined the deathcore. They made everyone try to sound like that. Everyone wants to sound the same. There's a whole bunch of bands that sound just like Lorna Shore. It's a fact. It's a fact. I don't know. So
ridiculous, and that's going to get pushed even further this year.
No, don't push it further this year. Push it the other way. Push it into the after image cleans. That's what we need. Yeah. Get the fucking emotional shit. Bring that in with the fucking...
The guitarists are crazy good. It's basically a noisemaker, though. Drummers have to be able to do everything, rip. And bassists have to be able to launch their MacBooks. So, yeah, I mean... Crazy year. I'm looking forward to it. I want the heavies. I want the emotions. I want to feel sad. I want to feel happy. And I want to just get absolutely pounded.
Pause. What? Chill. God.
23, pound me. Yes. Be sure to comment your metal predictions for 2023, whether it's band predictions, specific instruments that are going to be more popular, styles that are going to be more popular, clothing styles, whatever it might be. Comment down below what you guys think is going to be happening next year.
Yeah, so predictions. Do we have any predictions? Not hopes, but predictions. Specific, what do you think is going to happen? Not what do you want to happen?
I definitely think, a lot more like mixing of melodic stuff with like the super heavy stuff. Um, I do think thaw elements, maybe not complete like thaw bands are gonna pop up, but I think a lot of those elements are gonna pop up in a lot more bands because it's definitely already happening. So I can see that happening. I also think a lot of like older bands are gonna be coming back. Just
Absolutely, yeah, especially with Furnace
just
Fest.
because of Furnace Fest and how big it's definitely blown up recently. I think a lot of those bands that are coming back are definitely gonna do some music and stuff. I think like Unearth has got like an album or two, so they can.
It's been a while,
Um,
so
yeah, they're probably gonna come back. A lot of those other bands. Other than that, I don't really know.
yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I hope that, I think he's right. I think Brand of Sacrifice could do some, because Kyle is very talented. They are already pretty big. Like I said, I think if they really pushed that, I don't think they realize like how good that After Image shit was. And I had never even got into them when they were around. Like it was after when y'all were like, "Oh, you gotta go back and listen to this," and I was just like, "Oh, damn, why aren't they fucking doing that? Like, what happened?" It would be nice to see the deathcore kind of get a little bit more melodic, like the Within Destruction album was like that. You listen to because that I'm telling you that if you guys have not listened to the Within Destruction album, go listen to it. Lotus. You've got the second to last song is this like insanely heavy, like the fastest double bass you've ever heard. But I mean, there's probably more faster, but I'm just being hyperbolic. But it's just like super fast, extremely heavy, and then immediately after this beautiful 80s sounding solo, just super technical, very pretty, and it just like mind blowing. That's the way that those two like play off of each other. So I'd definitely like to see that more, especially from them and maybe from some others. Of course, like I said, vocally, I would like to see that mixture. Everyone hated on Whitechapel for doing cleans, though they did it a little differently. They were definitely a little bit of an outlier for
More
that kind of
rock.
style. They definitely changed the whole like style of their sound, and I would like to see it more incorporated. I do want a return of Icy Stars if I were you. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like we said, there's a lot of bands coming back right now. I've noticed a big trend and a big uptick in reunion tours. So I think we could definitely see that. Would be really nice, and maybe get a little bit more that influence going. Have everybody play off of that instead of waiting till someone does something cool like Lorna Shore did, and then stick to that one thing. But yeah, I think Nick's pretty right in most of the stuff. Would be nice to see. He did mention post-hardcore, and you were kind of talking about how you would like to see some more post-hardcore, like older post-hardcore type stuff. So with the Static Dress and all that. So he's talking about a little bit something else post-hardcore, but I think he could mix a little bit.
Oh, I do have hope. More crowd killing.
Yeah. That's gonna be my prediction. There's gonna be more crowd killing. I'm gonna share more crowd killing videos, and more people are gonna start crowd killing, and that's it.
My New Year's resolution.
More crowd killing. We're gonna take Nik Nocturnal down. We're gonna teach him to crowd kill. He's gonna become one of us. That's what's gonna happen.
Let's go.
So all right. Love y'all. See y'all next year. Old Ed Mike, young ass Jordan reminding you, never too old for this.